to current, I guess, codexes. We're just going to do a turn-by-turn thing and see what happens. The mission is all-round defense from the battle missions book. Okay, I'm deploying within 12 inches of the center with Mephiston, Sanguinary Priest, Plasma Devs, and 2 combat squads of Devastator, Las Cannon Devs. Okay, first turn for Dark Eldar.
Yeah, I had everything in reserve, so I have no first turn.
The Marines have no targets, so they destroy nothing. Okay, so what is it? It's turn 2. Dark Eldar.
Witches with my Archon in it.
We're about to assault my Las Cannon Devs, and they're probably all going to die. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I did okay. I killed 3 Marines. I would have liked to have wiped them all out, but it didn't quite work out that way. The Archon killed 2, the Succubus killed 1, and my regular Witches killed nobody.
I'm left out of that combat squad with 1 Marine, Bolter Marine, 1 Las Cannon. Both of them slew the Witches that tried to attack him. As a little bit of extra, the Marines fail their morale check, run off, but when the Witches follow him deeper into the trap of the building, the Marines turn around and fight back. Hold him in place. Mephiston jumps down, charges the Witches, does 5 hits, 5 wounds. The invulnerability, what is it called?
Shadow Field.
The Shadow Field. Makes all 5. Then, because of the other 2 Marines, Mephiston has to make who gets slaughtered, has to make a leadership test, fails, with a roll of 12, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Runs, and he's going to be running off the board unless I can somehow rescue him by removing everything within 6 inches of him, which is going to suck ass. And the Witches and the Archon and the...
That's it. Yeah.
No, you got someone with the Witches.
Oh, the pain point.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah.
From killing those other guys. Also, my wonderful, wonderful Space Marine melter bikes come on from reserve, having everything else fail. Come into the back of this Ravager. Shoot 3 shots, rolls 2 ones and 1 hit. And he uses his Flicker Field and saves the hit. And they're in trouble. What are you doing, buddy?
Alright, so on my turn, the Witches crawl in deeper into the ruins and get the other half of this combat squad. 4 wounds was done by the combat. The sergeant wounded 1 guy, but I dodged out of the way with my ninja skills. And unfortunately, the sergeant failed his leadership test and was overwhelmed by a number of blows struck when the Witches ended up chasing him down. Shooting up here against this Devastator squad, I've now done enough shooting to the squad to take out all of the regular bolter machines, so I get at the juicy meat now. Over here, the Ravager ended up only killing 1, but the squad inside, because of the splinter racks allowing them to move on and shoot and re-roll their misses, were able with the blast pistol blaster to finish the other 2 guys off. I didn't even have to use the splinter weapons there. And other than that, I still have a lot of stuff hanging in reserve, and as does he.
My Bile Predators come on in tandem, and with the aim of opening up the Raider, fail miserably. This is a time when I realise that if I have a choice of only having 1 weapon, I'd rather assault cannons. If I've got a choice of both, I'd have 1 assault cannon, 1 heavy inferno cannon. Would have cracked, a good chance of cracking it open, whereas almost no chance with what I had. Okay, the Dante and friends drop down here, and after all their firing, 1 wound on the Kronos. Those guys, they had to move up to look down. And they shot their bolt pistols because can't shoot heavy plasma on movement, and do nothing. And that was it for the Marines. And really, it's looking very, very sad for Mr. Marine. Mephiston just completely ran off the table.
Okay, my turn saw pretty much everything except for I still have one Ravager and one Raider off the board. I brought my bikes on and turbo boosted them over top of Dante's squad, killed a few guys, and then poured pretty much all the firing of 2 Raider squads and 2 Raiders with disintegrators into that squad. And the Kronos with his AP3 Strength 4 Flame Template weapon. Still managed to only get it down to just Dante and one other guy. I ended up having to assault it with the Kronos and put all of the Kronos' attacks on the sergeant to make sure that there wasn't a power fist on this side of the board for my Kronos to worry about. Up here, I forgot to move with my witches, and I ended up doing a good enough fleet roll to be able to get up to the roof, but was just out of an inch from his guys when I hit the roof, and ended up, of course, rolling a 1 for my assault move and not making it in. So, over here, the firing from the one Raider with the Dark Lance into the rear of this one missed horribly, and the triple Dark Lances into the side of the same Ball Predator ended up either missing horribly or bouncing off the walls.
The Plasma Devs managed to kill, I think, 4 witches. They held. The Assault Squad drops in, Descent of Angels, scatter 2 inches, and attack the squad of 6 bikes. They managed to kill, I think, 5 of them, and the last one is killed by Dante in hand-to-hand combat. Over here, once again, I wish I had assault cannons rather than inferno cannon. On at least one of these Predators, didn't manage to crack open one of these vehicles. Having 4 twin-linked strength 6 rending shots is far better for your medium light armor type stuff.
Alright, I ended up getting my last 2 reserves on. They roll up this side to try and deal with the threat that was the bikes. With that mass hail of shooting, I basically wipe out all but one, and he fails his morale test and parks himself next to my Raider to run off the table during my turn. I did one shot at Dante with the one guy and was going to go with the Ravager, but we never even really got to that at this point, with him only having Dante left and 2 Bell Predators, because those guys are pretty much written off. He decided to concede the game. So I guess we'll do some post-game stuff.
Yep. So as the Blood Angel player, the first thing is, Bold Predators, you need at least one with an assault cannon. At least one. If you've only got one Bold Predator, take it with an assault cannon. It becomes more useful with multi-roll. Otherwise, you can't do squat to to your transport vehicles. They're just close to useless. If you can have 2, you may want to have the other one with assault cannons as well, because of the twin-linked and strength 6 AP4 rending comes in handy versus vehicles. Can even hurt a Land Raider with it. The Eldar army seems to be, with the racks and being open-topped on the Raiders, you end up with lots of little armor value 10 bunkers that move around, which gives all the guys in the Raider twin-linked, essentially. So, it just kicks ass. That is fantastic. The Kronos was, to me, wasn't that much of a threat. It generated pain tokens, but didn't seem to do squat with them. The Witches, they were tough. I wouldn't, I'd rather assault them with some assault marines than take an assault from them. The Archon with its nasty 2+ invulnerable save, it's still the same as before. But yeah, also having the ability for the Raiders to move like 32 inches, or was it 36 inches, to contest objectives in these little armor value 10 bunkers.
That's 5 up invulnerable.
For 5 up invulnerable saves and give everybody inside twin link weapons. It's a bit. Maybe it's borderline broken. This is definitely going to change the metagame if everybody like me goes out and immediately buys a Dark Eldar army.
So, yeah, like he was saying, the Raiders with the splinter racks and flicker fields are cheap. They're only 75 points for mobile bunkers with 5 up invulnerable saves, and give everybody on board twin linked, which is pretty freaking effective, I have to say. If I were to say one thing, basically, I think Paula had some pretty miserable rolling with some of the, especially armored penetration rolls, especially against like that one raider that should have never still been kicking at this point. As much as the flicker fields are nice and cool, he really didn't penetrate me too much to make my flicker fields. Actually, him not penetrating enough really made my flicker fields seem a lot more effective than I think they are. When I only have to make 1 or 2 saves every time I make a 5-6 save, it's actually pretty spectacular. So the Chronos, I think the pain points thing is cool, but you kind of really have to park things near it that you think really need the pain point. I've left myself with pretty much just raider squads with guys that I figured were going to stay inside the vehicle for the whole time anyways, and we're giving them pain points even though it wasn't that big of a deal. The new disintegrator I'm still kind of hit and miss on. This squad here probably could have been more brutalized by the old disintegrator being the template, because of the fact of how tightly grouped he was on deep strike. But against more cannier opponents, basically, who, or people who aren't deep striking and keeping themselves clustered, will be able to mitigate template damage quite a bit. That the actual Strength 5 AP2 version might be the better one. Other than that, I didn't get out of my vehicles at all. I found those splinter racks just freaking amazing. Those wires, they warrant that 1 extra pint per model that they went up. If you can combine it with a 5-point upgrade on a Raider that allows the entire unit to reroll to hit. Even though I never got to use them much, I really like the blast pistols. I think they're great. 15 points for that 1 extra lance when you get up close, I think makes all the difference. Blaster range being 18 is phenomenal. Splinter cannons going up to 36 is great. Other than that, the bikes, as much as their ability sounds cool on paper, they still have the same vulnerability before. Basically, they're more or less one-hit wonders because everybody fears them so much that they don't let them live past that one turn. As far as
5 sucks butt.
Yeah, the save of 5 really makes a difference, especially means that like regular flamers, when they ignore cover, are just wiping that unit out really badly. Archon is actually quite a bit weaker than before. The combat drugs nerf for him actually makes a big difference. Not being able to pick a couple of things and being able to get up to like 6 attacks, rerolling misses is makes him a lot less of a threat. That being said, though, I thought the witches actually pretty much are a bargain now, actually, with how much they ended up going down in cost.